Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for July 16th, 2022, with your host, Space Wicker 2448 and Rumpet Epsilon.
Hi.
It is a Nintendo-centric episode this week, if you could not tell from the title, folks. More than half our news is Nintendo-focused.
Oh dear God, I did. Okay. You know what's really funny here?
What?
The goof I did. We have exactly 5 articles. That couldn't have ever happened again.
Yeah, especially since I know I forgot to talk about, but granted, they kind of fall in line with an article that we're talking about already, and there is not much else to talk about in mentioning it, so, you know what? Fine.
I just look up and I'm like, wait a minute. Come on, I didn't even mean for that part of it.
For those that don't know, there is not a whole lot of planning that goes on into our podcast and stuff.
Not a whole lot.
I literally make the list of episodes day of, in the morning or in the afternoon, by just going to my bookmarks, opening up all of the bookmarks I have in there, which is exactly 3 Twitters in one website, and I just go from today back to 2 weeks ago and just go, all right, what looks interesting today? That's it.
And I've practically automated the releases at this point, so
yep. So there is very little brain going on, which honestly is on brand.
Yep.
But before we get into the articles this week, Tommy, what have you been playing the last couple?
I did a dumb the other day.
What did you do?
I started playing Minecraft again. I booted up the newest update for Ridercraft.
How was it?
I feel like it's still slightly behind because we don't have the revised final form in there.
Oh, no Ultimate just yet?
Not yet.
I want to say I think they've modeled it, but they haven't, I guess, implemented it yet. I've ducked out of the Discord, unfortunately, because they keep having bot problems and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this after not 1, but 2 people I follow get their Discord accounts hacked. And that led to an assortment of fucking issues for them that lasted for several weeks.
I don't get how they're able to hack you based off of just in the server. I feel like there's more to it than just that. I'm
sure, but the 2 people I mentioned were people that they own a Discord and got hacked. I don't know exactly how they got hacked, but they got hacked.
Does that almost feels like they might have clicked a link that could have gave permissions?
I think they did.
And that would be the problem?
Yeah. Whereas
I'm in the mindset of, if I don't know you, then I'm not even looking at a message you send me.
Yeah. And it was just one of those times.
That's all there is to it. I mean...
Yeah, it was just one of those times where I'm like, because I've recently cleaned out some of the servers I'm in. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not getting anything out of the couple of servers I'm in, because I was in the Ridercraft Discord server, in the Sentai Craft Discord, and I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of these. I might as well just leave them.
I'm still in it, but they've kind of wound up in a group where if it's a server I've not paid much mind to, I've got like a folder that is just set up to just exist but not ding me on stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of just leave it that way.
And I ended up leaving the Tokusatsu Network's Discord because, again, I wasn't getting anything out of that. So I was just like, I might as well leave and just not have to worry about notifications from it. So I'm down to like 5 Discord servers besides ours, essentially.
It might be modeled, but I'm not even seeing anything in the sneak peeks chat. So
It might just be Over Demons is the last thing I saw that they did up.
which, if I'm not mistaken, Over Demons was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I also didn't realize that essentially they made Arc 01, or no, Arc 1. I was right the first time. Wrong one. They made it a weaker form compared to 02. And I'm like, at least they understand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I do legitimately feel like, even though we don't see that fight go on, I kind of feel like 02 would be the one to have the higher edge.
Yeah.
So, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they both have the whole predictive capability thing, but I feel like 02 would have the better version of that. Just like in the Arc Zero fight.
Yeah. And maybe even more so because Arc 1 kind of feels like it's more focused on the human side of it rather than the AI side of it like 02 is. So I would think that would be the other thing that would throw it different. But I've basically been charting everything out of the world that it generated for me, just to kind of be like, I'm just gonna see what all actually does spawn.
Yeah.
And I found out that they really need to tone down how many Pandora Towers there are. I found 4 of them.
Oh, I was about to say you found 6, didn't you?
I found 4 out of the 7 way markers that I put down. It's like, holy freaking crap.
Look, everyone loves a vault. Don't you want to fight a vault forever?
No, I don't think anyone wants to fight a vault forever.
There. Anything else?
No, not that hasn't been streamed at the very least.
I've done the big new content that came for Vampire Survivors today. Essentially, they added in a bestiary unlock that's not quite done. So it only gives you like so many enemies that you've defeated. Like 12 out of, I think, probably way more than that. And also, they gave you kind of a final boss to fight, which was like a Voltron Megazord Reaper thing to fight. So you can fight that now and unlock limit breaks, which lets you upgrade weapons beyond what they're capable of. I'm not sure exactly what it does. I didn't get to test that out just yet. But that was kind of the big ads from like this latest update. I was waiting for it to go onto the Game Pass version because it didn't for a few days from when the update, I think, went out. Which I don't know how long it takes for the Xbox app version to update relative to any other version of it.
Question, because I have no idea.
Continue Three Hopes. I have found the slight problem I have with Three Hopes, and I think it's the same one I have with Three Houses. I only want to do so much of the game in one session because, oh boy, is there a lot of dialogue I want to go through to at least do, but some of it I just don't want to read because I feel like I'm checked out.
Fair.
But there's like so much dialogue because every time you start a new chapter in Three Hopes, everyone in the camp has something new to say to you, so you got to check in with everybody, and you want to check in with at least all of your party members, because your party members, you know, if you answer correctly, you get stats up with them to do their S-Link stuff. But there's that, and then there's just so many battles to do per chapter. And you can only make those go by so fast, and it's just like, I only want to do like a chapter a session, and then just kind of like move on and like go do something else. But I'm chipping away at that. I don't know if I'll be done with Three Hopes. I know I'm in like the second part of the route I'm on, and I think I have 3 or 4 chapters left, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know if I'll get that done before, 2 Fridays from now, since a thing comes out in 2 Fridays that I really, really want to play. And they decided that, hey, we're selling an expansion pass for that game that is essentially 3 drops of content over the next year plus or so, I believe.
Sounds about right, because that's about on break at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget the estimates. Yeah. Wave 1 comes out the day the game comes out, and it's like a collection of items and then some color variations for outfits, so you get to do some fashion stuff, which is cool. And then Wave 2 is supposed to come out by the end of this year. And it's a challenge battle mode, a new hero character, which is like a 7th party member you can have that has their own unique class that you can, work with them, kind of buddy up with them for a little bit and get that class to swap with your other characters, because the job system's kind of nuts in this game, essentially. I think the closest comparison I can give people is like, the job system from Final Fantasy V, where you can just throw anybody anything all the time and all at once?
I actually don't.
Oh, well, Final Fantasy V has a job system where any character can be just about any class, and you can have the same class across all 4 of your characters at the same time. And there's like 20 classes. What if that, but 6 characters, and there's a 7th one that is a specific class, but you can swap them out with any other character, any of the, like, these other group of characters you have. So you can have like 6 healers, or 6 tanks, or 6 melee people of different varieties and stuff. It's nuts, is what it is. It's a lot.
Yep.
But yeah, they showed off, I guess, the new hero character, and because the expansion pass has the swords of the main 3 characters of the main 3 Xenoblade Chronicles games, it's like, oh, the first, pass of this is going to give you, like, Shulk, or, like, Rex and Pyra, since their swords are there. Nope, the silhouette is someone new, and I'm like, well, then I don't know how this is going, then. But then, like, Wave 3 of this is supposed to be by April of next year, and it's the same thing of a challenge battle, new hero, new outfits. And the 4th wave of this is essentially what they call a new original story scenario, which, considering the expansion pass before included Torna for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Torna is like a 20-hour expansion, it's probably something the size of Torna. Because this expansion pack is like $30, which I believe is the price of Torna. But yeah, there's that bit. Besides that, I took advantage of Prime Day sale. Got me a couple of risers for my shelf that were like half off.
Alright.
Yay. I also picked up the entire Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green runs of Adventure, or Pokemon Adventures, so now I have those to read on top of the rest of Gold, Silver, Crystal. So I have a lot of reading to do ahead of me once I sit down and actually do it. I've got all the pins to do the rest of the Revy custom forms I'm wanting to do. I just have to sit down and do them. It's more or less, I got things to work on eventually when I finally decide to do the work. Oh, and I have played Pokemon Puzzle League because it dropped on the Switch Online service Thursday night instead of Friday, which upset me because I got done streaming and then found out that Puzzle League started, and I'm like, motherfucker, I would have kept streaming and went and played Puzzle League. I have never loved the game, but yet been so garbage at it. Like, I know I'm not good at Puzzle League. I know I'm not. But I still love this game. But other than that, not much else. So, shall we hit the news then?
I mean, I guess we shall.
All right then. In news that would normally be in a direct, but is not in a direct and just was dropped on Twitter, Bayonetta 3 got a new trailer detailing its release date of October 28th of this year, and showcased more of Bayonetta 3, and I swear showing another Bayonetta in the trailer.
Ayotua?
I think? Bayonetta with an eye patch? Like, see if I can find her in the trailer. Because Bayonetta also has these like transformations you can do now with her demons. So I think she can like merge with them and like do these transformations and get like super modes now on top of like all her usual stuff. There's the Devil May Cry reference because remember, the same people who made Devil May Cry may make Bayonetta, because of course they do. Yeah, it's like 126 is this character that I'm like, this looks like a Bayonetta, if not in another like Umbral Witch, which is what Bayonetta is. And then they have the new character that you can play as that is not Virgil / Nero from Devil May Cry, essentially. They have a big cat friend, and they have a sword. It looks good. They also announced with this that Bayonetta 1 is getting a physical release on Switch, because before it was digital only with Bayo 2, I recall correctly, or some edition of Bayo 2. Yeah, they're announcing a physical edition of Bayonetta 1 that's like deep discounted, like $30, because the special edition of this game is going to give you specific cover art or specific like slips to match up the 3 box arts for the 3 Bayonetta games on Switch. Which is like a neat little bonus. But yeah, Bayonetta still looks good. And it comes out in October. But it being announced on Twitter makes me very nervous. And speaking of...
What? We totally will still get a... What did they call them again? Directs. Oh, right, yeah. Because, you know, we haven't had a proper one in so long that it's pathetic. Yeah. In, I guess, concerning news, because I was reading someone on Twitter talk about this, but Nintendo has bought an animation studio. They have bought Dynamo Pictures, which, from the little research I was able to do, they are essentially a smaller animation studio that does smaller projects and stuff for other companies. Like, they were a part of the cutscenes for Other M and I think a couple other Nintendo titles, and they've also done cutscene stuff for other video game companies amongst commercials and whatnot. So they're not like a big, like, they make movies and stuff. No, they just make like short stuff. But they've picked them up and rebranded them to Nintendo Pictures.
And the thing I was reading talked about how, it's really weird that Nintendo has bought them an animation studio, even though they were supposedly working with, what is it? It's not Universal. Who makes Minions? I don't remember. DreamWorks, that's who it is. They're supposedly working with DreamWorks to make the Mario movie, except they have nothing to show for that. Outside of they've casted a bunch of people to do the voice work.
Presumably. Casted people.
That was announced in a direct. So, that means something, I guess.
Yeah. Provided they haven't, trash canned the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, could potentially be doing the world a service. Because it just depends.
I mean, Chris Pratt has went on record saying it will be a voice like Mario. He's doing a voice of Mario that you've never heard before.
Oh, I don't doubt that he could make it be somewhat bearable.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of doubt that major studios can actually do video game movies properly.
I mean, wasn't that one Resident Evil on Netflix thing good? I mean, the current one, not the last 3 ones they've done.
My point exactly. Just saying.
Look, the only thing I know is that some characters said that they read Zootopia porn in one of the episodes, and another one there's some dancing person. But I'm like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? This has to make sense in context, right?
No,
I'm just watching a clip on Twitter. I know, but I'm just watching a clip on Twitter. This must be better than this, right? Right? But yeah, Nintendo just randomly buying an animation studio, wanting to make, animation stuff for Nintendo's or for their stuff, while supposedly working with DreamWorks for something this says something, but I don't know what.
I don't know if it does.
Yeah.
Because from what you said that they have done in the past kind of deal, this doesn't feel like they're doing it for that reason. They're probably more doing this because they have done good work for them in the past, so it's kind of keep them under their umbrella before someone else can grab them.
That makes sense, because that's been happening a little bit recently, where some studios are getting bought up because, oh, you do good work for us. We're just gonna bring you into the fold. That way, you just have a paycheck forever from us.
And I mean, if that's the case, and it's more just they want to keep them on the payroll because they have done good work in the past, then sure, I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like everyone's being too buy happy, and something's gonna backfire before too much longer. Looking at you, Microsoft.
Yeah, I just wonder, what does this mean for the Mario movie? At this point,
probably nothing.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be in limbo for
Yeah, because they delayed it in the last couple months, right?
That I don't know.
I want to say they delayed it because I think they said, yeah, it was supposed to be scheduled for December 21st of this year, but now it's going to be April 7th of next year. And coincidentally, April 28th of next year in Japan. Because, sure, I guess.
I mean, that really doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. In better news, though, we have a new Kerbal game. It is called Kirby's Dream Buffet, and it's a multiplayer Kirby game where you compete against your friends as you play as Kirby's trying to eat stuff and be the biggest Kerbal possible. It looks cute and adorable, and I dig it.
And it's coming out this summer, end quote.
Yet again, something I would expect to be announced at a direct and be like, this is something I would expect to be like Shadow Drop, to be like, by the way, if you own Switch Online, it's available like now. And it destroys the eShop for like 6 hours.
So a normal direct.
Pretty much. But yeah, this continued like drip feed of information from Nintendo is just like, do you not have a direct plan? Do you not have enough on the table to do a direct? Or is it something else entirely?
You know what I feel like we've hit as far as Nintendo goes? I think we finally hit that point where, because of having to restart Prime 4, it has shifted everything around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're finally now actually seeing that happen.
Yeah.
That, coupled with the rumors that have been going around about a potential new console being...
You mean the continued rumors
teased.
about a new new Nintendo console?
It's one of those, it's like if there's any truth to those, then that could be the other reason.
Yeah.
It could be a case of they're holding back some of that to have a decent launch too.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think this is boiling down to, we had to restart Prime 4. That has screwed not only 1, but 2 games up. Because it wouldn't surprise me if Retro was beforehand working on doing the remasters for the Prime trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And they've talked to...
in essence, they screwed not 1, but 2 releases that they could have had up.
Yeah, and they've talked about before how COVID has slowed down their production, and it wouldn't surprise me that slowdown in production has led to several delays of major titles.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's oops, there's nothing we can do. We just gotta bide our time and wait.
And I think we're finally at the point where it's like, yep, we've just got to wait. Because everything is completely screwed now.
Yep. Because as far as I understand, Nintendo does not have any sort of crunch culture in their studio. That is not a thing they do.
I mean, makes sense.
At least from my understanding. So, like, they're not going to crunch to get things out the door. Like, Nintendo proper, mind you. This doesn't get into the conversation of, like, someone like Game Freak or anyone like that. So they're not going to crunch to get, like, Breath of the Wild 2 out the door. Because, if the game takes 7 years to get developed, it's going to take 7 years to get developed. That's just how it is. With Zelda titles, believe it or not.
Yeah, look at Breath of the Wild 1, for example.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see. Next up, in kind of a trifecta of, hey, do you remember this 90s action movie? So there is an new Aliens game being developed. It is an action horror title. Is that coming from Survios, and it is single player. More details are coming during San Diego Comic-Con, which is next week. But on top of that, there is a RoboCop game being developed. Let me see if I can get their name real quick, because they are working on a RoboCop game and a uh, well, Terminator game.
Lost the word.
Yes. Yeah, RoboCop Rogue City is coming out next year from Taion and Nacon, or published by Taion, developed by Nacon, and they are also working on a Terminator game at the same time. I think they are both survival games to some extent, or at least the Terminator game will be a survival game to some extent. So a trifecta of remember this thing from the 90s, we're doing another video game. So yay, but none of these three have anything to show for it. Like the Terminator and RoboCop games were basically CG trailers. I think the RoboCop one might have a little bit of gameplay, but not much. The Terminator one definitely didn't. So we'll see on any of these. And last up, in a more serious news, Bandai Namco recently had a hacker group hit them with the ransomware. Bandai Namco has confirmed that this has happened, and they're investigating the extent of the data stolen. Now, here's the thing with this. As far as I know, nothing has come out officially for this. Like whoever was responsible for this, which I believe is the same group that hit, or not the same group, but this is following like Capcom, EA, and the like getting hit with the same sort of attacks. As far as I know, nothing has been leaked from whoever did this. I know that there is a timeline that someone put up, but that was confirmed fake because they grabbed a Tekken logo from somebody's YouTube video. So that's not real. But nothing has been leaked from this yet, as far as I'm aware. But that doesn't mean that there might not be. So this is something, I guess, to keep an eye out for.
The only thing, though, is technically a ransomware attack. They're not gonna essentially get the data. More so as they've got it locked under a key that only they can decipher.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are nothing actually went out of it. They just figured they could rattle a bunch of chains, much like they did press.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll see anything, but you never know. If they did a ransomware attack, that also may mean that they know a way to get into their network, meaning we might see a leak, but it not be directly tied to the ransomware.
Yeah. Yeah, because I also think, as far as I know, Bandai Namco, there's nothing major on their table in terms of the video game conversation of things.
There's apparently something, or they wouldn't be worried about it.
Right. I know that timeline suggested like Elden Ring DLC, which seems likely that they'll do that because there's always been some sort of DLC for a lot of the Souls titles post-launch in terms of like a major update of some sort. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's in active development at the moment. They suggested a Digimon Cyber Sleuth 2, but that's not what's coming next. There is a Digimon story game coming, but it is not a Cyber Sleuth game. It is a new story game that is nothing to do with Cyber Sleuth. So I don't know why they even tried to fake it with that information, because I know that's not true, because they've said that that's not true officially before that even got leaked. Or
Yeah,
before this fake timeline.
You say something doesn't mean it's actually fact. You know,
well, this was from
truthful.
Right. But it seemed like from the Bandai Namco people, they were like, yeah, we are doing a story game. It is not Cyber Sleuth 2. It is something different. And that was the short and long of the conversation. I don't think there was anything else. I'd have to look real quick. Because I saw it off one person's Twitter. It was just like, by the way, if you see this, this is fake. Let's see, like a Little Nightmares 3, a Dragon Ball Fighter Super, a Xenoverse 3, a New Tales of, and a Code Vein 2. I don't know about a Code Vein. I don't know if Code Vein's done well enough to do a sequel. And like Xenoverse, they'll probably do a sequel to Xenoverse, of course, because I think Xenoverse is still making them money. I also don't know about a Super Dragon Ball Fighters.
I mean, I'm sure they don't either.
Yeah. And this is also suggesting an Armored Core game, which I don't think is anywhere close to confirmed. There's Dragon Ball The Breakers on here. For those people who remember the Dead by Daylight Dragon Ball game that's coming out this year. Here is your reminder about the Dead by Daylight Dragon Ball game that's coming out this year. In case you forgot about it, that one's real. But yeah, this is not an official timeline of when any of these things are coming. But it doesn't mean like some of the stuff isn't necessarily in active development. But yeah, we'll see if something comes. Like, look, if you're going to leak things from Bandai Namco, can we get some information on like the bringing over of writer materials to states? Because I would like some insider information on that.
Nope.
Like,
can't get that information.
Like, I'll be honest, that is the only kind of like insider leaked information I give a shit about. Because it seems like there's more going on there than we know. And I am sure it's going to be something that's going to upset me to no end, because it's going to be something stupid about why it seems like it's so hard for us to get stuff over. It's going to be something stupid, and I'm going to hate having that information now.
Yeah.
And because it leaked, we're not going to get it anymore because it leaked, and everyone's going to be all upset about it and whatnot. Also, oh shit. Speaking of writer information, we are most likely going to see the official reveal of Geats before next week. Apparently, this is according to someone that's looks into all this stuff, there will be a Geats Gamba Rising card distributed to movie attendees for the Revice movie starting August 11th. The visual of this card is getting revealed on the 24th of this month. Meaning we're getting Geats, we will be seeing Geats for the first time before next week.
Huh.
Which apparently there's supposed to be like a quarterly toy meeting with Toei and Bandai and all that last Wednesday, but apparently it didn't happen. Or it happened and no one's talking about it openly, about what they saw.
Probably that one.
Yeah, so the thought is either that happened or it's actually this next Wednesday, like Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So, like, before the end of the week, we're gonna see Geats for the first time. So, yay!
Yay, question mark?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. We know so little about Geats. Like, to give a perspective on things, we had the full helmet looks of 01, Vulcan, and Valkyrie by this time relative with 01. We had three of our core riders, their helmets fully pictured from people's views of them by now. We had nothing about Geats in any reasonable capacity.
which is either a good thing or a bad thing.
Yes. But yeah, that is it for articles this week, folks. There's not a whole lot. We're kind of in a big waiting period of stuff.
Well, I'm hoping that stuff will happen.
Pretty much. So, releases. We'll kick off on the 19th with Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels expansion for Xbox One and Series X. And Stray for PlayStation 4 and 5. That little cat game that apparently is really good. Apparently you can hit a button to have the cat meow whenever you want in that game. As you should. On the 20th, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils for Switch. Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, Trials of the Dragon King DLC for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. I didn't know Strangers of Paradise was getting DLC until I think I heard on Ty's stream that it was going to get DLC. And someone was just telling him, hey, by the way, this game's getting DLC. I'm surprised Square is not promoting this more. Which I shouldn't be surprised. Sometimes Square is bad about that.
Yep.
On the 21st, Am I Kind-Hearted for the Switch. Arcade Archives, Kraken Pop for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Bricky to Me for Switch. Bright Memory Infinite for Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5 and Switch. Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp for PlayStation 4, Android, and iOS. Hell Pie for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. River City Saga 3 Kingdoms for PlayStation 4 and Switch. And Wally and the Fantastic Predators for Switch. Is this some sort of weird Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory spinoff?
I doubt it.
Yeah. On the 22nd, Capcom Arcade Second Stadium for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Dungeon Slime Collection for Switch. Live Alive for Switch. On the 26th, Mozart Requiem for PlayStation 4 and Switch. The Multiverses, I believe, open beta for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. I believe that's an open beta for that one.
Probably.
Which, from what I've heard, Multiverses is very good, except it is pretty much designed for 2v2 gameplay. It is not really designed for 1v1 or 4-player, really.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of just how they've worked all of the abilities and stuff. It's like, some of these abilities just don't make sense in a single-player setting.
Fair.
On the 27th, Gemma Boy Zero Origins for Switch. Arsonist Heaven for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. On the 28th, Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 for Switch. Loot Light for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. The Sims 4 High School Years for PlayStation 4. And finally, on the 29th, the long-awaited and anticipated Digimon Survive for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. I know the few Digimon people I follow have been eagerly waiting this game that has been stuck in development hell for like the last 3 years or so. Because some people honestly did not think this game was going to come out, and I kind of had to look at them and go, guys, COVID has hit game development so fucking hard. You don't understand. Also, don't worry about it. If it's going to come out, it's going to come out. If it's not, it will get canceled, and you'll find out it gets canceled. You just kind of have to hold that when it happens. But I've seen it. Looks good. It's a tactics Digimon game, which sounds incredibly up my alley. But, there's a thing at the bottom of this list that I care more about.
What, Squish?
It kind of has... No.
Oh.
No, the thing below it. So unfortunately, Digimon Survive has to wait because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out for the Switch. I am picking it up day one. I am so excited and happy. I can't wait. It looks so good. I gushed about it to Glock the other day on stream because I'm like, if I trying to describe Xenoblade to anyone that has not played those games, you sound like a madman.
Yes.
And I'm sure I sounded like a madman when I was describing it to Glock. But it is a wonderful little RPG series. If you've seen Games Done Quick a couple weeks ago, you'll see the Torna DLC get played. So you get a taste of kind of what the combat is, at least for that expansion. It's a little bit different from main game Xenoblade 2, but it's still really good. But yeah, that will do it. It is a slow week, folks.
Yes.
I can say I am kind of excited to watch Revice tomorrow when it gets up because oh boy, this Revice sound exciting this week in its last month of episodes, because I believe we have like 5 or so episodes left at this point, which is kind of strange to think about. That we have so few episodes left.
Yeah.
But anything else before we head off?
Huh?
All right, then. Tomorrow, we're taking a look at the Metsubo Jinrai V Cinema. I didn't realize it was under an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was the Spectre one under an hour too?
I don't remember, but probably.
Okay. We could have rolled these two and the one had been done in a week.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We could have gotten the decent V Cinema and the worst of the two out of the way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be flat honest. Tomorrow, it's not gonna be high praise kind of deal, but it's gonna be, this is better than what we're watching next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Granted, when I was watching it this week, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow, but like there was a thing I'm like, wait a minute. Are you forgetting about something, sir? About the other person in this conversation at the moment? Because I feel like you are. And I don't know why. It involves Hirobi and Ark and his Ark Land and his whole thing at the start of this. But yeah, that is tomorrow. Wednesday is us continuing our wrangling of Prime 3, because I feel like I want to describe it more as we're wrangling Prime 3 into a playable format rather than just trying to play Prime 3 at times.
Yeah. We really need a remaster of 3 that, doesn't have motion controls.
Oh god, yes. We really do.
Or at least has workable motion controls.
Mm-hmm. But that's Wednesday. Thursday! I have to pull this up because I don't remember the specific games. It is CH Double, because apparently you can't put Climax in in your Twitch stream titles anymore. Yeah, I found that out this week because I was trying to put in, Climax Scramble, Geo, and then it was like, this is not abide by Twitch guidelines and all that hoopla. And I'm like, what? So I took out Geo because I'm like, maybe it's thinking it's some weird word or something. No, I take out Climax. Perfectly fine. I can't put Climax in anything. Understandable.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
But it's still weird.
It's one of those, you can tell they implemented a word censor, not a phrase censor.
Yes.
Because it's like, that word on its own is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what's around said word.
Yep.
But I also get why they just said no.
But yeah, it is Climax Heroes Double and Versus Hero, which is what I think the first Great Battle game, technically. I'd have to double check my notes on that. And then next Saturday is Fortnite. We do more Fortnite.
Yep. Unless I decide to change it.
Which I just saw that legitimately, apparently, there is a potential for a Transformers crossover thing.
Huh.
Which makes sense. One of the two major companies that are doing toys for Fortnite at the moment is Hasbro. And Hasbro owns the Transformers. And they've already done G.I. Joe stuff and toys for it. So, you know what? Sure. Which, okay, I have a question if we're getting Transformers. What are we getting with the Transformers crossover? Like, legitimately, what are we getting? Like, it wouldn't be an Optimus Prime skin, right? Because that would look weird.
It wouldn't look any more weird than having Master dropping.
True, but like, Optimus Prime is a giant robot.
Okay. The scientist.
True.
Let's be
I'm
fair.
also like,
they have completely shied away from the fact of, it has to be realistic.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd be perfectly fine.
Well, I'm just thinking of like, they can't be doing like some variation of the mech as Optimus, right? Because no one likes the mech. Like, people hate them.
I'd say it'd be a skin kind of deal.
Probably.
And I could also see it being maybe a customizable skin where you could do the different Optimuses kind of deal.
Pretty much, here's your G1, here's your movie, here's a different movie one, I guess. Because I feel like that's the only ones they would do.
I mean, they could do Primal.
Okay, if they do Primal, I would be on board. Because I could see them doing that since we have the new Transformers movie coming out next year, and it's supposed to have Beast Wars characters, including Primal. And I'm like, all right, look, if you give me Primal, sure. I'll bite.
It's one of those, I could see them doing something like that with... It would have to be with Optimus kind of deal. But be like Optimus through the ages kind of concept.
Yeah. But yeah, that is Saturday, folks, and that'll bring us around to next Sunday, where we're finishing off 01 with the V Cinemas before we were just talking about it, and I was just like, do we just do the Dino movies now before we get started with Ace Attorney? Or do we just go to Ace Attorney and just be like, all right, we'll do the Dino movies after that, and then forget about it again?
I almost feel like we keep that in the back pocket for when we don't know what else we're doing.
true.
Because that can just be we don't know what we were doing. We need a week to fill in to figure it out. So, sure,
Yeah.
throw a movie in.
Yeah, since, you know, currently it seems like we're not getting another writer show until next year, since they haven't said anything about, you know, anything else besides, hey, Kuga's gonna be on Blu-ray, and it's like, all right, that's cool.
Unless they
Anything
pull a
new?
Nintendo and say, oh, it's just here.
To be fair, that's what they did with the original with 71, is they just randomly dropped it like on like Tubi and stuff, and everyone just kind of stumbled upon it and were like, oh shit, oh fuck. The original series here officially subbed. What's happening? Because, like, I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind that. Just shadow drop double before the anime happens.
Yeah.
Which they won't do, because that makes too much sense! Even with, like, a small pull from, like, Ranger Board, most people said, give me double. And I'm like, it's not that complicated. Why can't we not have double over here before the anime?
It would
It's
make
like the
more sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that is next Sunday. So that'll do it for us. If you like what you see, and drop a follow, really appreciate it. Chip it away. I feel like go at TCZone on Twitter, gets you updates on life. Exclamation point Discord and chat. Is this link? Drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.